1923 saw the government put into place the Railways Act of 1921, merging over 100 companies into 4 large groups. These were created to both help the companies make money and improve the service for passengers. The main companies to make up the Southern Railway were the South Eastern Chatham Railway, the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway, and the London and South Western Railway. The Southern Railway controlled all of the railways in the southeast of the UK, with a large focus on the commuter railways, which were very dense in this part of the country. It also ran services as far west as Cornwall, covering almost the whole of the south coast from Kent. It also held the most major London termini operating out of Charing Cross, London Bridge, Victoria, Waterloo and Cannon Street. Oliver Bulleid became the CME of the Southern in 1937 and brought a new way of thinking to the design of locomotives in the UK, drawing from experience of locomotive builders in Europe and the USA. With the outbreak of war, the SR was left with a shortage of locos and also a shortage of resources. Bulleid managed to design 3 new classes that not only used less materials than before, but also worked better and were easier to use for crews. The Q1 freight locos were very unusual to look at, but did away with any parts that were not needed for moving trains. The most famous of the wartime builds were the Merchant Navy and West Country locomotives. These were mixed traffic engines with air-smoothed cladding and many new engineering features that made short work of the heavy wartime trains. They were also at the forefront of technology, with electrification spreading over most of the network. Initially, the SR chose an olive green for their locomotives, but when Bulleid took over, he introduced a much brighter malachite green and a striking typeface for the lettering. This brought a splash of colour when introduced in 1939, as most other railways were painting their locos black or letting them get very dirty in the wartime conditions. The coaches followed a very similar pattern to locomotives, with just a slightly different shade to differentiate them from the locos. January 1948 saw the nationalisation of the network under the new British Railways, the Southern merging with the LMS, LNER and GWR to make the new national company. The Southern's influence didn't disappear though, with the green livery reappearing on coaching stock in the 1950s, albeit to a slightly different shade. There are many models of SR locomotives available, including Hornby's West Country, Q1 and Lord Nelson, and units including the 2 bill. These are perfect to run with the Hattons Genesis coaches in SR livery. Check these out now on hattons.co.uk. For more information and to order products from the SR, follow the link in the description. For more informative videos about railways, both real and model, subscribe to our channel.